Oh, by the way, since these lights behind me are LED and they got a little remote, whatever color you guys would prefer seeing behind me instead of the blue. I actually turned this one to orange instead of red. Yeah, that's orange, kind of. Whatever color you guys would prefer, leave it down in the comment section, and maybe I'll change it. Who knows? Anyway. Alrighty. So, I wanted to actually talk about something. So, I was actually going to just post this, talking about kind of just the way I've been feeling lately. But there's actually kind of a relevant thing. There's a reason that I've been kind of feeling down. I mean, I suffered from depression. Anyone who's been watching the show for a very long time. It's been something that I've been dealing with. And I get very depressed, and I really hate on myself and the stuff that I've done, and I'm not a huge fan of my work. And I realize that even though my life is actually pretty good, it's okay. It could obviously be better. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I feel worse a lot more often than I used to, and there's a reason I think that might be. And it's because I don't have really a day job anymore. And obviously, day job doesn't have to be working behind a cash register. It doesn't have to be dropping fries. It doesn't have to be flipping burgers, which is essentially what I used to do. It can be something else. It can just be something that fills the majority of your day. That's the grind, and that is the majority of the money that you make. And because I don't have that kind of that daily schedule, that constant thing, and my schedule's pretty loose, which is what I wanted. This is what I wanted for a living. This is what I wanted to do. And I'm doing that. I'm accomplishing that. And even though I feel terrible, I always have to look back and actually count my accomplishments this year in order to keep my morale up. Because when I had a day job, there was other people that I worked with. And, there were, I had a boss, and I was a boss. I had someone over me, and I had tons of people under me. And praising people and getting praise was a great motivator. I don't really have that anymore. I mean, yes, there's you guys on YouTube that appreciate the channel, appreciate what I do, and that is great. That's always a help. I love reading those comments. I love answering questions. I love trying to help people. And I'm still trying to get caught up on my emails. But it doesn't quite feel the same. And for me, because I have always had the problem of hating myself, because I lived in an environment where there was lots of competition. I had an older brother and a younger brother. And my older brother was basically the perfect older brother. He was the one that became an Eagle Scout, which didn't really do him anything. He was the older, more mature. Like, this is the one that's going to succeed, and Tim's going to come in second. He's going to get the silver. And then Steven was, my younger brother. He had some issues, and my family didn't really work well with him, and so he was constantly fighting for attention. Same thing with his sister. And so there was a lot of competition in our house. And everyone was fighting for attention. Everyone was fighting for some kind of approval. And so that's kind of the space that I ended up being in, is that I constantly need that kind of approval, that kind of recognition, that kind of, I need feedback, even if it's negative. In fact, more often than not, especially when it's coming to like my writing that I've been doing a lot lately, I've been begging for negative feedback because I need some kind of benchmark. I need something to work towards. I need to know what direction to go and what direction not to go. And just because of how I've been raised, negative feedback was the majority of what I got, or at least that's how I feel. Maybe I would look back and turns out that that's not the case, but that's kind of more or less what I got. No one really said anything to each other unless someone was doing something wrong. And I just gotten used to that. And now that I am my own boss, I'm my own motivator, I'm my own feedback for the most part when it comes to my daily work, which is voiceover, which is the thing that I wanted to do, which is the thing that I was working towards while I had my day job. And then when the day job was taken away from me, I had to go all in. And now I'm doing pretty good. Obviously could be doing better. I feel like I'm missing something. And I feel like I'm constantly feeling like earlier today, I was feeling like I was just a loser, like I was just wasting my time. I was wasting other people's time, that I was just procrastinating to the point of, I'll probably be dead tomorrow and I'll have accomplished nothing. It's basically the feeling that I have on a regular basis. It's an issue that I'm constantly having to work with. It's something that I'm constantly having to, again, count my blessings, look over the stuff that I've done to motivate myself. And I'm having to look back and motivate myself with stuff that I've done well, stuff that I've accomplished, stuff that I know that I didn't do before, that I have done, and it's showing that I've moved the line forward, that I've moved the bar ahead. Like, for example, earlier this year, I basically thought, and part of last year, thought that I was basically blacklisted by a lot of major anime dubbing studios. Now, I have not gotten any anime work. Just make that clear. However, not that long ago, I did actually get an email from Funimation, and I got to do an audition. I didn't get the role, obviously, and I know some of the people who did, and I'm very proud of them. But I did get the audition. I did actually get confirmation that I wasn't on someone's list. Now, I might still be on someone's list. I'm not going to lie. And when I've actually crossed that threshold, when I've actually gotten anime work and I've actually done anime work and I'm confident about it, I will do an update on that. I promise. I will do a whole thing on it. As of right now, I'm still in kind of limbo and I don't want to give too much information, but I can say that there isn't just a general overall blacklisting of me in all of Funimation. Also, my coach that I've been talking to, who's also helping me make some more professional demos, did kind of confirm the idea that such lists do kind of exist. Now, it's not something that, and I don't want to do an entire video on this, but it's not something that Funimation themselves has like a company spreadsheet that has this list. It's more like each individual director or showrunner or whoever is in charge has their own kind of people they do and don't want to work with. That's kind of more or less what it is, which is fine. It's a free country and people have the right to work with whoever they feel comfortable, that feel that they would work well with. That is an ideal working scenario, working relationship. You don't want to work with people that you're going to be butting heads with, or you feel like you're going to be uncomfortable with, or they're going to have some kind of issue. That's totally fine. As long as it's not blatant discrimination, that's totally fine. But I did get past that, and I have to constantly remind myself that I hadn't even gotten to that point yet. And since then, I also did finally get an actual voiceover agent, which I've been getting 1 or 2 auditions every weekday on average now. Sometimes they've actually been sending me like 4 auditions a day, which, and it'll be like, I need this within the next couple hours. And they're working on, East Coast time, I think. Yeah, East Coast time. And so it's kind of throwing me. But I did get an agent that I didn't have last year. I didn't even have earlier this year. That's another benchmark. And in total, I've done probably about 10 anime auditions in total. Not with Funimation. There's another studio that I'm on their line. They've sent me some auditions. And they're for like smaller projects or pitch projects or Chinese or Korean animes, stuff that's not as mainstream, not as popular, and not as large projects, but still would be tons of fun. I would still, have a blast doing. But I constantly have to remind myself that I've done these things. I'm constantly having to remind myself that I have actually accomplished something. And it's agonizing. It's grueling. Because I used to just have this motivation and this drive that was external. That was someone or something constantly pushing me forwards. When I had a day job, it was me trying to do the best I could at stand-up comedy, acting, and voice acting because I wanted to get away from the day job. I wanted to get free and be my own boss. And so having the day job was the motivation to not need the day job anymore. And it was the driving force to make me for me to be as good at the things that I do as I could. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm not the best. There's still tons of room to grow, which is why I'm going to a coach. But it gave me the drive and the motivation to get to that point. And then once I lost the day job, a good chunk of that was still, that momentum still kind of pushed me forward, especially considering I knew that I had to make as much money doing the things that I do as possible, or else I was going to be homeless. Fortunately, that didn't happen. So I did have that, but now that there's kind of a stability, especially with my roommate, basically, he makes enough money that, we'll never go hungry or go homeless. Life might be kind of, cutting it close, but we'll never be completely dead. But since I have that, and the majority of my time is left alone in the studio, alone in the booth, and I have a very loose schedule, it's very, very hard to stay motivated. It's very hard to not procrastinate. Fortunately, working with a website like Fiverr gives me a deadline. I set a deadline. This is how long I have to complete these projects. And that's great. I need that. But outside of that, doing other things, doing other projects that I want to do, that doesn't involve money. There's a lot of them that I've had to put on hold, a lot of stuff that I really wanted to work on, larger projects, larger dubs, fan dubs, stuff like that I have to put on hold because of financial reasons. Not that I couldn't afford it, just because, it doesn't feel right for me to just blow a lot of money when I have other things that I got to take care of. And I would rather just make sure all of those are good before I even bother. So, but outside of that, a lot of those projects, it's very, very hard for me to motivate myself. And when I'm just sitting there and I notice that I haven't actually finished anything or accomplished anything, I feel like I'm wasting everyone's time and I'm a complete and total loser. Happens a lot. And that's how I feel. And it's because I don't have the day job. It's because I don't have that drive. It's because I don't have that motivation. And I really, really wish I had something like that. The agent helps, but a lot of those auditions I get done in less than an hour. They're really small auditions. So it's not like it fills my 9-hour day. So, it all comes down to me being self-motivated. It all comes down to me having to keep myself going. And then when I don't, for whatever reason, I feel like, why even bother? That if I was to die, it would make no difference. And this is all very, very dark, and this is all very, very, depressing, but this is just me opening up. This is some stuff. I'm not depressed now. I actually feel great right now. I got a lot done today, even though I had a serious migraine. I got a lot done. And the migraine was actually because of the me staring at the screen and typing up stuff and reading text and a lot, and I'm going to have to work on that. But and after I got a lot done, I felt a whole lot better. But earlier, I did feel this way. And there's a part of me that actually feels like if I had the day job, it would have actually kept me motivated, because then I wouldn't be wasting what time I had. Because back when I had the day job, every single moment that I had where I wasn't working, I was marketing, I was auditioning, I was drawing, I was editing, I was doing all kinds of stuff. I was trying to book gigs, doing stand-up comedy. I was doing all this. I was filling that time as much as possible because I didn't have that much time to spend. I didn't have that much time to waste. I didn't play any video games. I didn't play any video games at all. My entire existence, when it wasn't that soul-sucking day job, which I appreciate and I do love. I love everyone that I worked with. Without that, what time that I had not doing that, I had to get as much done as I could, because otherwise I was feeling like I was wasting time. And now that there's no real bookmarks on my day, there's no real clock counting down, there's no set number of hours for the most part, it kind of throws everything out. Just kind of throws everything everywhere. And everything now just feels like one long, endless day. And it also feels like there's nothing getting accomplished. So the long story short is there's a financial benefit and there's an emotional and psychological benefit to your day job. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When someone says keep your day job, it's not an insult. It's not a derogatory term. It doesn't mean you suck. It doesn't. It means that you're in a position where you either can't fully financially support yourself doing the thing that you love, or it would be easier for you to do the things that you want by doing both. What I mean by that is all of this costs money. This costs money, this costs time, this is also soul-sucking. Don't think that it's not soul-sucking. Yes, it's fun. Doing cartoons for Cartoon Hooligans, doing video games, doing commercials, doing this and that is a lot of fun. But this is also soul-sucking. Everything is soul-sucking. Everything that you put your time into for the benefit of someone else, benefit or joy or something else, you're putting a piece of yourself in it, and that is going to suck a part of your soul. So, but you don't need to get rid of the day job completely. So unless you have something to fill that void, that day job void, keep the day job. If at any point in time, the thing that you love, voiceover, speaking mostly voiceover, this would also include acting, stand-up comedy, and freelance art or writing or whatever. Once your voiceover actually impedes with the day job to the point that you're losing money, you're actually losing money, guaranteed money, by not doing voiceover. You're actually at your day job and you're losing money. Then get rid of the day job. But I would actually kind of say slowly move it out, see if you can, decrease your number of hours rather than just completely cut it cold turkey, because I got lucky. Not everyone's lucky like I was. And, it was rough. It was very rough. It's still kind of rough. So don't just cut it cold turkey. But that's why that's said. It's not said as an insult. It's not said saying that you're talentless. Some people do say it like that, but the statement, keep your day job, was never intended to be like that. It was actually intended to say, you still need time. You need something to help you get there. You need that fuel to get you the rest of the way. You need that motivator. You need that drive. And there's a part of me that wishes I still had that. So if you're out there and you're watching my videos and you're kind of thinking of quitting your day job and just going right into voiceover, don't. Go into voiceover, yes, absolutely. But don't just get rid of your day job. What I would suggest instead is to make a detailed list of everything you do in your day-to-day. All the days that you have work, how long do you sleep, what days do you have off, and look at how many hours you actually have available. Most people waste time watching videos, playing video games, sleeping too long. You could actually spend that time doing the things that you love and build and getting that snowball rolling rather than wasting all that time. Keep the day job. It'll motivate you to get better. It'll fund your ability to take all these classes. It'll fund your ability to get coaching. It'll fund your ability to get professional demos if you need them. It'll fund all that if you do it right and if you have the right day job. But don't just cut it cold turkey. That's what I did, and I'm kind of dealing with it in both a physical and a psychological way. So this was kind of a warning video. But I hope it's a warning video that helps somebody out there. So anyway, that's going to be it. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine, but you have to say why. And if you're dealing with something like this or similar, or just dealing with anything serious, leave that down in the comment section, or if it's too personal, email me. Totally happy to talk to you. And also, whatever color you'd like those lights to be, also leave that in the comment section below. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.